I want to talk about a concept as it relates to water and health and the environment. And that concept is called cross contamination. I know we don't get to think about this very often, but with over a decade as an executive in the food industry, we talked about cross contamination a lot because we needed to make sure that our customers were safe and that something that was unhealthy or could create the spread of bacteria, infection, disease, or poison wasn't accidentally cross contaminated with something that was pure and good. So think about it as it relates to water. One thing that we've got going on right now, we'll break this down into a couple of different buckets, all right? We've got tap water that they're estimating in the United States alone has about 251 million people in households in a situation where they're being exposed to forever chemicals, certainly fluorides, and new studies that have been released based on EPA lawsuits that show that fluoride reduces a child's IQ by up to 7 points if there's any exposure to it whatsoever. We've got heavy metals, and we've got issues with regard to pipes that are carrying water into our households that in some places are reaching a century in age. What water's traveling through to try and get to our houses, and the incredible work that municipalities and people in those water distribution centers are trying to do on our behalf when their water rates are super low and their infrastructure is getting older and there isn't a ton of government will in relationship to being able to improve. And think about this. Let's say there was a different kind of intervention. We're still dealing with the distribution of water through all of these pipelines that are moving into our households. And I think it's probably not realistic to think that that water should be arriving in my tap in a place where I would know that it was 100% healthy for me. Does that make sense? Like, I mean, just even with the logistics associated with its distribution. And so a long time ago, a lot of people started making a decision, and this decision, by the way, has modeled itself throughout the world, that somehow if we didn't have safe tap water, that we were going to start drinking water out of plastic bottles. And cross-contamination issues affect that as well. So in the first step, from a pipeline standpoint, we've got cross-contamination transpiring with regard to forever chemicals, things leaching into water supplies, things collecting as they come into our homes that have to be separated out in order for that water to be healthy and safe for us. But in the plastic bottle industry, the cross-contamination issue becomes even larger because microplastics are found in over 93% of all of the samples that were taken in a recent study that was done, 19 major plastic water bottle companies in 26 countries. So this isn't a matter of guessing, gee whiz, I wonder if there's microplastic particulates in my plastic water bottle. There is. And we also know that that plastic and microplastic is not just breaking down in the environment, but it's breaking down inside of us as well. So we've got new reports and studies out that finds microplastic in human blood, microplastic in placenta, microplastic in breast milk. It kind of goes on and on and on. And yet this year in the United States, people are going to spend $36 billion on water in plastic bottles. Cross-contamination issues affect the reverse osmosis world as well. Reverse osmosis systems are interesting. They do a great job at taking all of the things out of water that we don't want to drink, but they also take a lot of things out of the water that we need to have in order to be healthy. Most of them are plastic-based systems. Most of them have got reservoir systems that need to be maintained, checked thoroughly by professionals on a regular basis so they can become breeding grounds for bacteria. And one of the things that we don't really think about too much with regard to reverse osmosis is how much water it wastes versus how much water is made available to our households. And that's going to vary depending on the kind of system that you've got, but you should look into it just to see how much water am I wasting by trying to move in RO. And if I've got all of this stuff moving through plastic and I've got harborage areas for bacteria and I need to have professionals coming in on a regular basis to make sure that this system is working correctly, or else I'm risking cross contamination, then maybe it's not the perfect solution. I don't know what is a perfect solution, but what we wanted to do is we wanted to find something that would help us with the cross contamination issue. Think about it like this. I've got a distillation technology that is going to bring me 99.999% pure water, okay? That water is going to be flat and it's not going to taste the same way as the water that you're used to. And what we want to do is we want to aerate it, we want to remineralize it, and we want to put it into a series of different kinds of containers that are arsenic free, that are lead free, that are made of stainless steel. We want to be able to carry that product around to our friends, to our neighbors. We want to be able to take it to work. We want to be able to take the system to the cottage. We want to be able to take it to our second house. We want to be able to take it with us on vacation. We want to have living water wherever we go, and we want to make sure that that water is not cross-contaminated, because when something's clean and pure, we want to make sure that it maintains that purity, or we're just fooling ourselves. And this is part of the reasoning behind what we're doing. It isn't just a matter of distillation, it's a matter of collection, of storage, of aeration, of mineralization, and transportation for the building of a new way of looking at water that would bless you and benefit you, your family, your mind, your spirit. Just in closing with regard to this, we see the rise right now in a new phenomena in the psychological world called eco-anxiety. And one thing that they believe is helping people to overcome their anxiousness and depression about what they see as the state of the world is that they have to be able to take a good personal first step towards a good environmental decision. Water is an incredible place to start. So why don't you join in with us? And let's get an I Drink Living Water system into your house, make you part of a community, and build up on this together. As we find out more, as you find out more, we're going to share with one another, and we're going to overcome microplastics and chemicals and forever chemicals and arsenic and all the rest of the stuff that's floating around that people are just really coming into an understanding of right now. And we're going to replace it with peace. We're going to replace it with health. We're going to replace it with joy. So join us. I Drink Living Water. Nate, thanks for your time.